Good morning. Rich Nass, Executive Vice President of Open Systems Media and leader of the Embedded and IoT franchises, and I'm here for this week's installment of 5 Minutes With. This week, I have the pleasure of speaking to Rich Catizone, who is the CTO of Morey Corporation. Good morning, Rich. How are you?
I'm good, Rich. How about yourself?
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so Morey operates in a space that's pretty competitive, and in some case, you're competing with people who have revenues that are measured in the billions of dollars, and I'm referring to the manufacturing space. It's obvious that you have to stay maybe not at the bleeding edge of technology, but fairly close to the leading edge. How do you do that when you're not, one of these companies that has 50,000 employees around the world and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely, Rich. So we do have a lot of great engineers, and we've got a great talent pool to pull from here in the Midwest as far as technology is concerned. And we make it a core competency of ours to stay ahead of that. I mean, you said it yourself. The interesting thing about the timeline on technology is you don't have years anymore for something to mature. You have months. So not only are we always working on our current projects, but we have R&D projects going, and we have think tanks working on technology that we can use, obviously, to stay ahead of the game exactly as you talked about.
So what's the hardest part about doing that? I mean, is it the investments? Is it the people? Is it frankly, the customers?
Yeah, so it's a combination of that. The investment side is how much do you invest on technologies to make bets, depending upon how much they're going to be taken up in the market. So I think that's a constant dance that we play, right? We're not a Google where we have endless amount of R&D dollars. So when we use R&D dollars, we want to make sure that they make sense. So we do market analysis. We work very closely with our customers to not only understand what they're doing now, but what they're doing next, so that we invest in the right technologies and we do the right R&D. And then, yes, it's an answer to your question. It's exactly our customers. It's voice of customer, voice of user. It's us being close to them and knowing where we need to be on the next step so that we're ready for them when they need to go to their next step.
So what is the latest area that you guys are heavily investing in or possibly looking into making a big investment?
Well, I think one of the interesting things that's happening specifically in IoT is compute. I think there's a lot more happening at the edge than there has been, right? A lot of the beginning of IoT has been data gathering, grabbing data, sending it over a cellular network, and getting it into the cloud. There's a lot of people that want to do machine learning and analytics out at the edge. So we're looking at putting that level of compute and that level of capability into our devices that we use in IoT.
I assume that comes from customer demand.
It comes from customer demand. It also comes from partners. So we have a lot of partners in our ecosystem. One of the difficulties about IoT is there's not a one-size-fits-all. So there's an ecosystem. There's a chain of people along the value chain that offer different opportunities, and analytics is a big one these days. And a lot of our analytics partners are looking to do the edge-based machine learning and analytics. Okay.
So when you say ecosystem partners, I'm not sure that I have the same definition you do. What is an ecosystem partner to you?
So the way we look for ecosystem partners is Morey knows what we do well and what we do best. And then right on the edge of that in the value chain, we look for the next person that does what they do very well to complement what we have, and then along up that value chain. So, for example, Morey does IoT-based hardware, data gathering, smart sensors, and connectivity. But above that, you're going to need to have carriers that have connectivity. Those are partners in an ecosystem. You're going to have companies that run platforms that can gather the data and put it into Amazon Web Services, for example. That's a part of the ecosystem. And then you're going to have analytics partners that actually gather the data and make decisions. So that's another chain along our ecosystem. So our ecosystem is all people that help us make the full solution that you're going to need to deploy IoT today.
Okay, you were a little vague on the what we do well part. What is it that you guys actually do well?
So we're technology integrators on the hardware side. So if you look at Morey, we've got a 250,000 square foot manufacturing facility here in the Midwest. We've got all state-of-the-art manufacturing equipment, so we can build anything that's electronic, and we can build the mechanicals of that as well. We carry a pretty hefty engineering organization in-house so that we can not only build that stuff, but we can design it as well. So everything along the value chain of a concept of a piece of hardware all the way to its commercial deployment, we can handle that end to end. So we are a technology integrator, hardware services partner.
That sounds great. Unfortunately, it also sounds like we've used up our 5 minutes because it certainly does go quick.
Yes.
That was Rich Catizone. He's the CTO of Morey Corp. I'm Rich Nass with Embedded Computing Design. Have a great day, Rich. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rich.